So actually, I'm very curious about this. I personally haven't tapped into the being my potential haven't been unlocked through the power and the combination of these alchemy of that you've spoken of. So for someone who is interested, I do want to learn about it. I'm curious, right? Especially for someone like you who study, lifetimes and years to study this. What would you say to someone who's curious, like, oh, what is that to have my potential being unlocked by this unique blend of botanicals and herbs and teas and so forth?
So what's amazing is in many cultures around the world where you have these native tribes that are living within the natural atmosphere, so to speak, they're able to, through knowledge and wisdom, they're able to know which plants are known to help with certain ailments, or maybe it's because it's been passed down from generation to generation. And how is it that one botanical, the leaf, could be healing for one part of the body, while the root of the same plant could be absolute poisonous or absolute poison for another part of the body? So there's an intuition that can develop through one, being aware of your natural habitat. How do I know that there's healing botanicals and healing herbs around me? So there's a story of a master and a student. And the master says, "You're now ready for your final exam. I want you to go within a 1 mile radius, and I want you to find me a single botanical that does not have medicinal properties behind it." Oh. The student's excited, goes out, comes back 24 hours later, sobbing. And says, "Master, I failed. I could not find a single botanical that did not have medicinal properties behind it." And the master looks up and smiles and says, "No, in fact, you've passed." So every flower, every leaf, every botanical has the power and the potential of having medicinal properties. In fact, over 80% of all medicine that's produced in the world is derived from plants and derived from nature. So there's two things that I'd recommend. One is spend more time in nature, get to know the local foliage, the local things that are around your area, whether you're living in Canada or Wisconsin or deep in Mexico, wherever you might be living, there are natural habitat, natural flora around you that is worth exploring. So for example, snake bites. If you have rattlesnake bite within Southern California, there are certain cacti and there are certain botanicals that help bypass some of the poisons within a snake bite. If you take a look at the ginkgo leaf, looks like a brain. There's two hemisphere, the ginkgo, which is an ancient tree, by the way. It's been around there are fossils of it being supposedly around millions and millions of years. And ginkgo is known to actually help with brain power. So
Mhm.
there are symbols in nature and there are symbols within the world, but part of it's one getting more connected. The second and the last part is knowing the digestive effect of a botanical. And there was a rash of us that wanted to understand the connection of that, the connection of yoga, the connection of Ayurveda, and the connection of herbology and alchemy. And how can we be true alchemists? In a sense, what would happen is we would want to really understand the pre-digestive, the digestive, and the post-digestive effect of the different botanicals. Because we would fast on a Thursday and we would just ingest that botanical and we would understand the pre-digestive, meaning as we were sipping the extract of that botanical, what was happening in our mouth, what was happening in the aromatic performance of that, what was happening as we were digesting it, and what was happening after it's left our body. So even on a cellular level. And the best way I could describe those three different levels is, let's say I'm telling you a joke, right? So you're starting to absorb the joke, right? You're pre-digesting the joke. I finished delivering the joke. You get the joke. Yes, I totally understand the joke. And then an hour goes by. And even though you thought the joke was really funny at the time, an hour goes by and you realize, you know what, that really wasn't that funny. That was kind of messed up. So you're digesting the joke very differently. So the same thing happens with the foods and the herbs and the botanicals that we consume. So I think having a bit of a deeper awareness and understanding through a very simple practice of isolating the different botanicals one at a time to getting a deeper understanding. And the third, and I'd say the most important, is find yourself a teacher. Find yourself someone that you can really track with that can help make sure that you're not digesting weird shit and that you're going down this wrong path. So really make sure you're tracking with someone that you trust that can make sure that you're doing it safely.